waiting for you. I'm Taren S, a High Priestess in a Crossroads Witchcraft Tradition, and I've been brewing magic for a very long time. Come on in, let's brew some together. Hello! I'm so happy to see everyone here today. This video is something we all need to listen to, I think. I wanted to start out with 101, but as I was writing the list out and the more I thought about it, the more I realized we all need to revisit these subjects. I think we periodically, even us old witches, we get in a rut, we get in our ways, so to speak. And I want to talk about the things I wish somebody had told me, things that when you're starting out you should take into consideration. I have a lot of different ways to name this video. And in the end, whatever I decide to name it is what it is. But it's not just a 101 video, it's what I want to say. Because there's a lot of information coming in at us all the time, witches, all the time. And occasionally I think, like I said, even us seasoned ones sort of lose our way. And that to remember that magic is in its truest, what is magic? Magic is will, intent, and focus. Three things you can't buy. Can't buy will, can't buy focus, and you can't buy intent. These are all things that come from within us. And we need those self-care, we need all those inside internal healings, the shadow work, and all of that helps us to have the will, intent, and focus. You got to keep your headspace right. You got to live your life right, you know. If you're lying to your neighbor, showing up late for work, and then wondering why the bless and prosperity on your altar ain't working, then maybe you should refocus. As witch folk, as magic folk, we have to learn to hold ourselves to a higher standard, to the standard of the divine that is within us. We are spiritual beings. You are a spiritual being. All right? And that's part of that do you boo. The divinity is within you, so ultimately everything you need to know is within you. You just have to learn how to ask, or learn how to ask, learn how to access that is within us. And I think when we're all starting out, we feel there's so much information. What do I learn first? Oh my gosh, there's hundreds and thousands of god and goddesses. There is a different way to cast a circle for everybody. Create sacred space. And I would say, slow it down. Go to the elements. All right? Go to air, fire, water, earth, and of course that fifth, spirit. But really incorporate the elements. Don't worry about them god and goddesses and all them other things out there. Start with just the elements and embracing them and how you're bringing them into your space. Are you bringing in the element of air? Are you bringing in the elemental of the air? Are you bringing in the spirits and ancestors that are in that air energy? All right? And take the time. Take a candle, a representation. Air is typically yellow. And sit it down at a full moon and burn it. And get your journal out and write it down. That's another big thing, which is write it down. We just had Dana up here who was telling some stories about some of her first entries in her book was diagrams of how to set up her altar. And that when she first started out, she got really all up in that, those correspondences. My altar has to be set out by this diagram. There's a chart that says that I have to do on a full moon, I have to do this, and on a new moon, I have to do that. And to really it's a place for foundation knowledge to start, but later on, you learn that your altar is set up the way your magic, your personal representation, your physical representations in the world. But you need to start out with those things. But at the same time, don't get caught up in the correspondences. Just because you missed the full moon doesn't mean you can't make blessed moon water that cycle. You can make blessed moon water anytime it feels right. I have had nights where I walk out my yard, the stars all up in the air, it's beautiful, and I just feel the energy vibing. All right, and I'll go get my water and do a little blessing up. I don't know what phase the moon is in. Who cares? I feel it. That's what matters. And also, I want to go over into the Conjuring realm because, like, for Conjuring folk, they typically work within hours. Like, before midnight is blessings, after midnight is cursings, or they may work within the days of the week. Mondays and Wednesdays are good cursing days, just saying. But each witch vibes on their own, so use these charts and correspondences to inspire you, but do not let them dictate or put you in a box of what you have to do. Okay? And that's with the altars, is that they are so personal. Your altar is a physical representation of your magical spiritual connection to the universe. Let it be as personalized as you can make it. That's what makes it more powerful. All right? And when you're starting out, it is a little hard. You're not quite sure. But you've already been shopping. Y'all know you've heard me say this. Your witchy unconscious self has already done the shopping. You just need to walk around your room and you will find all those items. All right? Put them in that space and in that moment. And next moon cycle, if it's not feeling right, change it up until it does. All right? Altars are in the moment. Altars are a reflection of where your magic is right now. All right? And don't be afraid to change them. And if you have an altering to divinity, a representation, a god, goddess, Loa, Orsha, don't be afraid to change those altars up a little too. I know sometimes, no, that is the altar of, and they must have this on it. No, they don't. They got to have on it the connection that you are having with them. All right? And I guess the other one is back to the tools are optional. Will, focus, intent, create magic. Tools can help us do those things. Use them if you're vibing on them. But if you're not vibing on them, you don't have to use them. Whatever tools that you choose, all right, once you've brought them into your space, treat them as the magical tool they are. Treat them special because they are special. I think this is a 101 question, and I'm going to ask it. Why do you want to be a witch? Why do you want to do magic? Those are questions you need to ask deep inside of yourself. And if it's about, I want to get back at so-and-so, or I want to build a megla mini mansion and have so much money I can wipe my ass with $100 bills, this probably isn't the place for you. Our idea of wealth is personal transformation. I'm not saying you shouldn't aspire to the finer things in life. I mean, I know that I like me some pretties too. But about keeping those in balance, all right? This, for us, is a path of personal transformation. This is a place I need to be. This is a place that satisfies my soul, all right? If you're looking for a quick fix and I want to go cursing up on my neighbor, I tell you, we got a lot of magic folk that will do the service for you. Don't be trying doing stuff like that on your own unless you're properly trained and spent time in the community. But just grabbing a book and cursing never goes well. All right. And that's back. Magic isn't technical steps. Magic isn't 1, 2, 3, 4, and if I've missed number 2, I have to go back and do it again, or nothing works. And I'm going to tell a story on Dana, who talked about she was doing a ritual, she forgot to call quarters, and then when they got mysteries, she blurted out, "I forgot to call quarters," and just sort of took all the energy and sucked it out of the room. She was so concerned about the technicals that she lost the magic of the moment. And she was a young witch. This was the first time she'd ever facilitated a large ritual, so she was beyond nervous. And I just got so much respect for her, having the courage to stand up there and do it. But also, I was really, really proud of her for realizing that she had shifted energy. She was connecting with each of these. And that next time she's going to do better. She learned. We learn by doing. All right? And by doing, we make mistakes. And it's not that, oh my God, I made a mistake, I'll never do this again. It's, I made a mistake, this is what I've learned, so that next time I can do better. All right? So much of my wisdom comes from the fact I was a pretty slow witch when I was younger. I had to make a mistake, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times before it like hit me in my forehead that you ought not do that. So when I'm telling you all stories or telling you don't do this, be aware it's coming from a place of I did do that, and it didn't work out well, you know. And ultimately, no matter who we are, how long we've been doing, we got to take a deep breath, step inside ourselves, and allow our intuition to be our guide, and to remember to take no counsel with anyone outside of our higher self. What does that mean? If it ain't feeling right, you don't do it, all right? And that you ain't got to change nothing to be more magical. You don't have to thinking, oh, if I did this, I'll be... No, it's already all in you. You are good enough just the way you are. You're part of divine. How can you not be perfect? All right? And I know you young ones out there, you're opening up this magic path, all right? You know, faith and belief of self. You're where you're supposed to be. You're doing what you're supposed to. And you keep leaning in with honesty, sincerity, and learning that authentic voice. And the universe is going to open doors for you. I promise the universe will open doors you didn't know existed. But first, you got to do the work. First, you got to get out there and start doing those mantras of belief of self. Start working on making sure that you're taking care of you, all right? And understanding that society tells us it's selfish. No, it's not. It's self-care. We learn to draw boundaries and take care of ourselves first. All right, witches. I hope some of these wisdoms help you. And like I said, you're good enough just the way you are. Don't change nothing. Just laugh a little more. That's all. All right. Y'all have as bright of a blessed day as I'm having. And as always, amen, blessed be, ashe, and above.